As I look upon your faces, I see the light of God shining through each one of you. For you must understand, my dear friends, that you are not merely flesh and blood, but the very expression of the divine imagination. The power that created the universe resides within you, waiting to be awakened and unleashed. Now, let us delve into the heart of our subject. It's always you against yourself. What a revolutionary concept this is. For most of us have been conditioned to believe that our struggles are against external forces, other people, circumstances, or even fate itself. But I say to you, with all the conviction of my being, that the only real battle you will ever face is the one within yourself. You see, my beloved listeners, the world you experience is nothing more than an outpicturing of your own consciousness. Every person, every circumstance, every challenge you encounter is but a reflection of your own inner state. The universe is a mirror, faithfully reflecting back to you the contents of your own mind. Therefore, when you find yourself in conflict with the world, when you feel as though you are fighting against insurmountable odds, know this: you are not battling external forces. You are wrestling with your own thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions. Let us explore this further. Think of a time when you felt the world was against you. Perhaps you were passed over for a promotion, or a relationship ended painfully. In those moments, did you not feel as though you were fighting against unfair circumstances or cruel fate? But I say to you, even in those moments, it was you against yourself. You see, your experience of those events was shaped entirely by your own consciousness. The meaning you assigned to those experiences, the emotions they evoked, the beliefs they reinforced, all of these came from within you. Another person, facing the exact same circumstances, might have had an entirely different experience based on their own inner state. This, my dear friends, is the first great truth we must grasp if we are to master our lives. We are not victims of the world, but co-creators of it. The battle is not against external forces, but against our own limiting beliefs, negative self-talk, and restrictive assumptions about what is possible. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, surely there are external circumstances beyond our control. And to this I say, yes, events may occur in the physical world that we did not consciously choose, but our experience of those events, the meaning we give them and how we respond to them, these are always within our control. Consider two people facing the same challenge. Let's say the loss of a job. One person might view this as a devastating blow, a confirmation of their worst fears about themselves and the world. They might spiral into despair, their negative thoughts creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of continued failure. The other person, however, might see the same event as an opportunity for growth and reinvention. They might use this time to pursue a long-held dream or to develop new skills. Same external event, vastly different experiences, all because of the inner state of each individual. This, my dear listeners, is why I say it's always you against yourself. The real battle is not with the world out there, but with the world within. It's a battle against your own doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs. It's a struggle to overcome the conditioned patterns of thought that keep you bound to a limited experience of life. But here's the wonderful news. If the battle is within you, then so is the victory. You have within you, at this very moment, all the power you need to overcome any challenge, to achieve any goal, to become the person you've always dreamed of being. You see, you are not separate from the power that created the universe. You are that power individualized and made manifest. The same force that spins galaxies and ignites stars flows through you. It is your very essence, your true nature. If we have all this power within us, why do we struggle? Why does it often feel as though we're fighting against ourselves? The answer, my beloved friends, lies in our habitual use of imagination. You see, imagination is the God-given power through which we shape our reality. But most of us use this power unconsciously, allowing our minds to be filled with images of lack, limitation, and failure. We rehearse our fears, relive disappointments, and mentally play out worst-case scenarios. And in doing so, we use our divine creative power against ourselves. This unconscious misuse of imagination is the source of all our struggles. It's why it feels like we're fighting against ourselves. Because in truth, we are. We are using our God-given power to create the very limitations we seek to overcome. But here's the liberating truth. Just as we can use our imagination to create limitation, we can use it to create freedom, abundance, and success. The choice is always ours. This, my dear friends, is the great battle we must wage. The battle to consciously direct our imagination towards what we desire, rather than what we fear. It's a battle to choose faith over doubt, love over fear, abundance over lack. Now you might be wondering, how do I win this battle against myself? How do I overcome my own limiting thoughts and beliefs? The answer lies in a practice I call living from the end. Living from the end means imagining the fulfillment of your desire with such vivid detail and emotional intensity that it feels real to you now. It means stepping into the consciousness of the person you wish to be, feeling the feelings you would feel if your desire were already realized. For example, if your desire for financial abundance, don't merely visualize having money. Instead, feel the sense of security, freedom, and generosity that financial abundance would bring. Live from that state of consciousness now in your imagination. If your goal is a loving relationship, don't just picture being with someone. Feel the love, the companionship, the joy of shared experiences. Live from that state of being loved and loving now in your imagination. You see, my dear listeners, when you live from the end in your imagination, you are not fighting against yourself. You are aligning yourself with your desire. You are becoming, in consciousness, the person who already has what you seek. When you persist in this new state of consciousness, the outer world must reshape itself to match your inner reality. For the outer world is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner state. This is why I often say, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. For when you assume the feeling of already being or having what you desire, you are no longer fighting against yourself. You are instead allowing your true self, the God self, within you. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, this sounds too simple. Surely there must be more to it than just imagining. And to this I say, yes, it is. But simple does not mean easy. The challenge lies not in the technique itself, but in our ability to persist in our new assumption in the face of contradictory evidence from our senses. This is where the real battle against ourselves takes place. You see, when you begin to live from the end, your physical senses will continue to show you evidence of your old reality. This is the moment when many people give up, thinking it's not working. But I say to you, this is precisely the moment when you must persist. Remember, your senses only show you the fruits of your past thoughts and beliefs. They cannot show you what is possible, only what has been. Your imagination, on the other hand, shows you what can be. And it is your imagination, not your senses, that is the true creative power in your life. So when your senses tell you that nothing has changed, when doubt creeps in and you feel the urge to return to your old patterns of thought, this is the moment to double down on your new assumption. This is the moment to declare, I am not fighting against myself any longer. I am aligning with my true self, with the God within me. These moments of doubt and struggle recall the words of Scripture. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Your faith, your persistent assumption of the reality of your desire, is the substance that will eventually solidify into physical fact. Now, let us address another aspect of this battle against ourselves, the battle against our own concept of time. You see, my dear friends, time as we experience it in the physical world is an illusion. In the realm of spirit, in the realm of imagination, there's only the eternal now. When we say, I will be successful someday, or one day I'll find love, we are pushing our desires into an imaginary future, thereby creating separation between ourselves and our desires. This is another way we fight against ourselves. by creating a gap in time between our current state and our desired state. But I say to you, there is no someday in God's kingdom. There is only now. Your desire exists now, in the realm of imagination. And since imagination creates reality, your task is to bring that desire into your present experience by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled now. This is why I often encourage my students to use the phrase "I remember" when imagining their desires. For example, instead of saying "someday I'll be financially free," say "I remember when I struggled financially. How wonderful it is now to live in abundance." By phrasing your desire in this way, you are mentally placing the fulfillment of your wish in the past, thereby eliminating the illusory gap of time between you and your desire. You are no longer fighting against time, but aligning yourself with the timeless nature of your true self. My dear friends, understand, the battle against yourself is ultimately a battle against your own concept of who you are and what's possible for you. It's a battle against the limited, conditioned self that believes in lack, limitation, and separation from your good. But you are not that limited self. You are the God self, the Christ within, the divine imagination made manifest. And that self knows no limitations, no restrictions, no impossibilities. This brings us to another crucial aspect of our topic: the battle against our own self-concept. You see, each of us carries within us a mental image of who we are, what we're capable of, and what we deserve. This self-concept acts like a thermostat, regulating our experiences to match our inner beliefs. If your self-concept is one of limitation and unworthiness, you will unconsciously sabotage your own efforts to succeed. You'll find ways to prove to yourself that you're not good enough, smart enough, or deserving enough. This is another way we fight against ourselves, by living up to a self-concept that doesn't reflect our true divine nature. The good news is that this self-concept is not fixed. It's not something imposed upon you from outside. It's a creation of your own imagination, and therefore it can be changed through the same power that created it. To win the battle against your limiting self-concept, you must dare to imagine yourself as the person you wish to be. You must create a new self-concept that aligns with your desires and your true divine nature. This is not about creating a false, inflated ego. It's about recognizing and claiming your true identity as a divine being, capable of creating any reality you can imagine. It's about aligning your self-concept with the truth of who you really are. So I say to you, my dear listeners, dare to imagine yourselves as the person you wish to be. See yourself as confident, capable, and worthy of all good things. Feel the naturalness of being this expanded version of yourself. And as you persist in this new self-concept, you will find your outer world reshaping itself to match your inner vision. Now let us address another aspect of this battle against ourselves: the battle against our own habits of thought and action. You see, my beloved friends, we are creatures of habit. Our minds tend to follow familiar patterns of thought, and our bodies tend to repeat familiar actions. These habits can be a powerful force for good when they align with our desires. But all too often, our habitual thoughts and actions work against us, reinforcing the very limitations we seek to overcome. For instance, if you have a habit of worrying about money, that habit will continually create experiences of financial stress in your life. If you have a habit of expecting the worst in relationships, that habit will attract experiences that confirm your expectations. To win the battle against yourself, you must become aware of these habitual patterns and consciously choose new ones. This requires vigilance and persistence. You must catch yourself in the act of thinking or acting in ways that don't serve you, and consciously choose a different thought or action. Remember, my dear friends, every thought you think, every word you speak, every action you take is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. And just as surely as an acorn grows into an oak tree, these seeds will grow into the circumstances of your life. Therefore, cultivate the habit of thinking thoughts of abundance, love, and success. Speak words that affirm your divine nature and infinite potential. Take actions that align with the person you wish to be. As you do this consistently, you will find that you're no longer fighting against yourself, but working in harmony with your true divine self. Now, let us explore another dimension of this battle against ourselves. The battle against our own resistance to change. You see, my dear listeners, even when we consciously desire change, there's often a part of us that resists it. This resistance comes from our ego, the part of us that clings to the familiar, even when the familiar is painful or limiting. This resistance can manifest in many ways. It might show up as procrastination, self-doubt, or a sudden urge to distract ourselves when we're on the verge of a breakthrough. It might appear as a voice in our head saying, "Who do you think you are to want more?" This resistance is another way we fight against ourselves. It's the part of us that fears the unknown, that prefers the certainty of our current limitations to the uncertainty of growth and change. To overcome this resistance, we must understand that it's not our enemy. It's simply a part of us that's trying to keep us safe in the only way it knows how, by maintaining the status quo. But we can reassure this part of ourselves that it's safe to change, safe to grow, safe to become more. One powerful way to do this is through what I call the lullaby method. This involves speaking to yourself with the same loving reassurance you would use to soothe a frightened child. You might say something like, "It's okay. You're safe. This change is good for us. We're growing into our true divine nature." As you consistently soothe your own resistance in this way, you'll find that the battle against yourself begins to subside. The part of you that once resisted change will begin to embrace it, recognizing that growth and expansion are your natural state. Now, my dear friends, as we delve deeper into our topic, let us consider another aspect of this battle against ourselves. The battle against our own sense of separation from our good. You see, many of us have been conditioned to believe that what we desire is outside of us, separate from us. We believe we must struggle and strive to attain it, to bring it from out there to in here. But I say to you, this belief in separation is the root of all our struggles. It is the ultimate way we fight against ourselves. For the truth is, there is no separation between you and your good. All that you desire already exists within you. In the realm of infinite possibility, that is your true nature. Your desires are not random wishes, but the voice of God within you, calling you to express more of your divine nature. They are the seeds of your future self already present within you, waiting to be acknowledged and nurtured into manifestation. Therefore, to win the battle against yourself, you must overcome this sense of separation. You must realize and feel the truth that you are one with all that you desire. This is what Jesus meant when he said, "The kingdom of God is within you." How do we realize this oneness? Through the power of feeling. You must feel the reality of your desire now. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the fulfillment that your desire brings. Feel it so completely that in your imagination it becomes your present reality. As you do this, you are no longer fighting against yourself by pushing your good away into some future time or external location. Instead, you are aligning with the truth of your being, that you are one with all that you desire. This brings us to another crucial point in our discussion: the battle against our own disbelief in the power of imagination. You see, my dear listeners, we have been taught to trust only what our physical senses show us. We have been conditioned to believe that the real world is the one we can see, hear, touch, taste, and smell. But I say to you, the world of the senses is not the real world. It is merely a shadow, a reflection of the true reality that exists in imagination. Your imagination is not a fantasy factory spinning idle dreams. It is the very workshop of creation, the place where all things come into being. Everything you see in the physical world was once only an image in someone's imagination. The chair you're sitting on, the clothes you're wearing, the building you're in, all of these were imagined before they were made manifest. To win the battle against yourself, you must overcome your disbelief in the power of imagination. You must dare to trust that what you imagine and feel is real, is indeed the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This requires a radical shift in consciousness. It requires you to place your faith not in the evidence of your senses, but in the reality of your imaginal act. It requires you to know with unshakable certainty that what you imagine and feel as real must inevitably express itself in your physical reality. My dear friends, this is the essence of what it means to live by faith. Not a blind faith in some external power, but a living faith in the God within you, in the power of your own divine imagination. As you cultivate this faith, you will find that you are no longer fighting against yourself. You are no longer at war with your own creative power. Instead, you are flowing with it, allowing it to express itself fully in your life. Now, let us address another aspect of this battle against ourselves. The battle against our own concept of God. You see, many of us have been taught to think of God as a being separate from ourselves, a cosmic judge watching our every move and meting our rewards and punishments. But I say to you, this concept of God is the ultimate way we fight against ourselves. For it places the power outside of us, making us feel small, powerless, and unworthy. It creates a sense of separation between us and the divine, leading to feelings of fear, guilt, and unworthiness. The truth, my dear listeners, is that God is not separate from you. God is your own wonderful human imagination. The power you have been seeking outside yourself has been within you all along. You are the operant power in your world. You are the God you have been seeking. This is not blasphemy, but the deepest truth of your being. It is the meaning behind the scriptural declaration, I and my Father are one. It is the reality that Jesus pointed to when he said, the kingdom of God is within you. To win the battle against yourself, you must overcome this limiting concept of God. You must dare to claim your divine nature, to recognize that the power you have been seeking is your very own consciousness. This doesn't mean becoming arrogant or egotistical. On the contrary, it means embracing a profound humility. The humility to accept that you're indeed an expression of the divine, that your consciousness is the very power that creates worlds. As you embrace this truth, you will find that you are no longer fighting against yourself. You are no longer at war with your own divine nature. Instead, you are allowing that divine nature to express itself fully through you. Now, my dear friends, as we near the conclusion of our discourse, let us consider one final aspect of this battle against ourselves, the battle against our own forgiveness. You see, many of us carry within us a burden of guilt, shame, and self-condemnation. We remember our past mistakes, our failures, our moments of weakness, and we use these memories as weapons against ourselves. We tell ourselves that we are unworthy, that we don't deserve the good we desire, that we must somehow atone for our past before we can claim our good. But I say to you, this refusal to forgive ourselves is perhaps the most insidious way we fight against ourselves. For it keeps us bound to the past, preventing us from stepping into the fullness of who we truly are. Remember, my dear listeners, in the realm of spirit, there is no past. There is only the eternal now. Your past exists only in your memory, and memory is imagination. Therefore, you have the power to reimagine your past. This is the true meaning of forgiveness. It's not about condoning past actions or forgetting what happened. It's about releasing the emotional charge associated with those memories. It's about choosing to see your past self with compassion and understanding, recognizing that you were doing the best you could with the awareness you had at the time. To win the battle against yourself, you must forgive yourself completely and unconditionally. You must release yourself from the prison of self-condemnation and step into the freedom of self-love and self-acceptance. As you do this, you will find that you are no longer fighting against yourself. You are no longer at war with your own past. Instead, you are free to live fully in the present, to express the truth of who you are without the weight of past mistakes holding you back. My dear friends, as we come to the close of our time together, I want you to understand that the battle against yourself is not something to be won once and for all. It is an ongoing process, a moment-by-moment choice to align with your true divine nature rather than with your conditioned, limited self. There will be times when you slip back into old patterns, when you find yourself fighting against yourself once again. When this happens, do not judge yourself harshly. Simply become aware, make a new choice, and gently redirect your imagination to what you desire to be, do, and have. Remember, the power to change your life lies within you at this very moment. It is your own wonderful human imagination. Use it wisely. Use it to create a life that reflects the truth of who you really are. Go forth from this place tonight with the knowledge that you are infinitely loved, infinitely supported, and infinitely powerful. You have within you everything you need to overcome the battle against yourself and to create a life beyond your wildest dreams. And so, my beloved sisters, I leave you with this final thought. The battle against yourself is ultimately a battle for yourself. It's a battle to reclaim your divine nature, to remember who you truly are, to awaken to the God within you. As you go about your days, whenever you find yourself in struggle or conflict, pause and ask yourself, am I fighting against myself right now? Am I resisting my own good? Am I denying my own divine nature? And in that moment of awareness, choose again. Choose to align with your true self. Choose to imagine the best. Choose to feel the reality of your desires now. For in doing so, you are not merely winning the battle against yourself. You are transcending the need for battle altogether. You are stepping into the peace, the power, and the infinite possibility that is your true nature. Go now and live from the depths of your being. Remember always that it's not you against the world, but you against yourself. And in that remembering, choose to be for yourself, to love yourself, to express the fullness of your divine nature. The world awaits your light. Shine brightly and never look back. And so it is. As I look upon your faces, I see the light of God shining through each one of you. For you must understand, my dear friends, that you are not merely flesh and blood, but the very expression of the divine imagination. The power that created the universe resides within you, waiting to be awakened and unleashed. But what? You may ask, do we find ourselves trapped in cycles of frustration and disappointment? Why do we struggle to manifest our deepest desires and live the life we know we deserve? The answer, my beloved listeners, lies in the habits we have unconsciously adopted and nurtured over time. These 7 destructive habits are like invisible chains that bind us to a world of shadows and illusions. They are the veils that obscure our true nature and keep us from realizing our infinite potential. But fear not, for tonight, we shall learn to recognize these habits and, more importantly, to break free from their insidious grip. Let us begin with the first destructive habit. Negative self-talk. Oh, how often we engage in this pernicious practice without even realizing it. We are constantly engaged in an inner dialogue. And for many of us, this dialogue is filled with doubt, fear, and self-deprecation. I'm not good enough. I can't do it. I'll never succeed. These are the poisonous thoughts that pollute our mental atmosphere and create the very limitations we seek to overcome. My dear friends, listen closely, for I'm about to share with you a fundamental truth. Your inner conversations are the secret causation of all that befalls you in life. Every word you speak to yourself, every thought you entertain, is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. And just as surely as a seed grows into a plant, these thoughts will manifest in your outer world. Therefore, to break free from this first destructive habit, you must become acutely aware of your inner dialogue. Catch yourself in the act of negative self-talk and immediately replace those thoughts with affirmations of your divine nature. Instead of "I can't," say "I can." Instead of "I'm not worthy," declare "I am worthy of all good things." Remember, you are not the voice in your head. You are the one who can change that voice. Imagine, if you will, a beautiful garden. Would you allow weeds to grow unchecked, choking out the flowers and fruits you wish to cultivate? Of course not. You would diligently remove the weeds and nurture the plants you desire. Your mind is that garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. Choose wisely what you plant, for you will surely reap what you sow. Now let's move on to the second destructive habit, living in the past. Oh, how many of us are guilty of this? We replay old hurts, relive past failures, and constantly compare our present circumstances to what once was. But I say to you, my dear friends, the past exists only in your imagination. It has no power over you unless you give it power. You see, time is a construct of the human mind. In the realm of spirit, there's only the eternal now. When you dwell on past events, you're using your God-given power of imagination to recreate those experiences in your present moment. You are, in essence, giving life to shadows and breathing vitality into that which no longer exists. To break free from this habit, you must learn to live fully in the present moment. Embrace the truth that this very instant is the only point of power you have. It is in this moment that you can choose your thoughts, direct your imagination, and shape your future. When memories of past hurts or failures arise, do not fight them or try to suppress them. Instead, thank them for the lessons they brought and release them with love. Say to yourself, that was then, this is now. I choose to focus on the limitless possibilities that lie before me. Remember, my dear listeners, your past does not define you. You are a being of infinite potential, constantly renewing and recreating yourself in each moment. The person you were yesterday need not be the person you are today. You have the power to reinvent yourself, to shed old identities and limitations, and to step into a new and glorious expression of your divine self. We now turn our attention to the third destructive habit, worrying about the future. How this habit robs us of our peace and joy. We spend countless hours fretting about what might happen, creating elaborate scenarios of failure and disappointment in our minds. But I ask you, dear friends, have your worries ever changed the course of events? Have they ever brought you anything but anxiety and distress? Worry is a misuse of the imagination. It is the creation of negative future scenarios that exist only in your mind. When you worry, you are literally imagining what you do not want and impressing those images upon your subconscious mind. And as we have learned, whatever you press upon your subconscious mind must, by law, be expressed in your outer world. To break free from this habit, you must learn to use your imagination constructively. Instead of imagining worst-case scenarios, cultivate the art of positive expectation. See the future as bright and filled with endless possibilities. When concerns about the future arise, ask yourself, what is the best that could happen? Then use your God-given power of imagination to create vivid, emotion-filled images of your desired. Remember, the future exists only in your imagination. It is a blank canvas upon which you can paint the most beautiful pictures of your life. Why waste this divine gift on creating images of lack, limitation, or failure? Instead, use it to craft a future so wonderful, so filled with joy and abundance, that your present self is filled with excitement and anticipation. My dear friends, understand. Your imagination is the bridge between your current reality and the life you desire. It is through the faithful use of your imagination that you will cross over from a life of limitation to one of unlimited possibility. Now let's address the fourth destructive habit, comparing yourself to others. Oh, how this habit has stolen the joy and confidence of so many. We look at others' achievements, possessions, or relationships and feel ourselves lacking in comparison. We measure our worth against arbitrary standards set by society or our peers, forgetting that we are unique expressions of the divine. But I say to you, comparison is a thief of joy and a denial of your true nature. When you compare yourself to others, you are forgetting a fundamental truth. There's no one else in all of creation exactly like you. You are a unique and irreplaceable expression of God. Your journey, your gifts, your purpose. To break free from this habit, you must cultivate a deep appreciation for your own uniqueness. Celebrate your individuality. Rejoice in the fact that you are a one-of-a-kind miracle, a singular note in the grand symphony of creation. Instead of looking at others and feeling less than, look within and discover the vast treasures that lie dormant within you. Remember, my dear listeners, the only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Are you growing? Are you learning? Are you moving closer to the realization of your dreams? These are the questions that matter. Your journey is your own, and it is incomparable to anyone else's. Moreover, when you find yourself admiring qualities in others, instead of feeling envious, recognize that you are seeing a reflection of your own inner potential. For you could not recognize greatness in another if that same greatness did not exist within you. Use these moments of admiration as inspiration to cultivate those qualities within yourself. Let us now turn our attention to the fifth destructive habit, neglecting self-care. How often we push ourselves to the brink of exhaustion, ignoring the needs of our body, mind, and spirit. We live in a world that glorifies busyness and equates rest with laziness. But I say to you, my dear friends, self-care is not selfish. It is essential. You see, your body is the temple of the living God. It is the vehicle through which you experience this earthly journey and express your divine nature. To neglect it is to limit your ability to fully embody and express the infinite power that, to break free from this habit, you must learn to honor your body, nurture your mind, and nourish your spirit. This means setting aside time each day for rest, reflection, and rejuvenation. It means feeding your body with wholesome foods, moving it in ways that bring joy and vitality, and giving it the sleep it needs to repair and renew itself. But self-care goes beyond the physical. It also involves nurturing your mind with positive thoughts, uplifting literature, and inspiring conversations. It means taking time for meditation or prayer, connecting with your inner being, and aligning yourself with the infinite wisdom of the universe. Remember, my dear listeners, you cannot pour from an empty cup. By taking care of yourself, you are not being selfish. You are ensuring that you have the energy, vitality, and clarity of mind to be of service to others and to fulfill your divine purpose. Now, let us address the sixth destructive habit, resisting change. How we cling to the familiar, even when it no longer serves us. We resist change out of fear of the unknown, preferring the discomfort of our current situation to the uncertainty of a new one. But I say to you, my beloved friends, change is the very essence of life. It is through change that we grow, evolve, and become more of who we truly are. You see, the universe is in a constant state of flux. Nothing in nature remains static. The seasons change, the tides ebb and flow, and even the stars in the heavens are in constant motion. Why then do we resist change in our own lives? To break free from this habit, you must learn to embrace change as an opportunity for growth and transformation. Instead of fearing the unknown, cultivate a sense of curiosity and adventure. See, each change is a doorway to new possibilities, a chance to experience more of life's richness and diversity. Remember, my dear listeners, you are not a static being. You are consciousness in motion, constantly renewing and recreating yourself. By resisting change, you are denying your own nature and limiting your potential for growth and expansion. Moreover, understand that all external change is merely a reflection of an inner shift in consciousness. When you change your thoughts, your beliefs, your inner conversations, the outer world must change to reflect this new state of being. Therefore, instead of resisting external changes, focus on creating positive changes within yourself. As you do so, you will find that the outer world naturally aligns itself with your new inner reality. And now, my dear friends, we come to the seventh and final destructive habit, doubting your own power. This habit is perhaps the most insidious of all, for it undermines everything we have discussed tonight. It is a voice that whispers, "Who am I to dream big dreams? Who am I to think I can change my life?" But I say to you, with all the conviction of my being, you are a child of the infinite. You are made in the image and likeness of God. The power that created the universe flows through you at this very moment. To doubt your own power is to doubt the very source of all creation. You see, my beloved listeners, you are not a mere mortal struggling against the forces of the world. You are a divine being, temporarily inhabiting a human form. The limitations you perceive are not imposed from without, but from within. They are the result of false beliefs and misconceptions about your true nature. To break free from this habit, you must cultivate an unshakable faith in your own divinity. You must recognize and claim your birthright as a co-creator with God. This doesn't mean becoming arrogant or egotistical. On the contrary, it means embracing a profound humility. The humility to accept that you are, indeed, an expression of the divine. Begin each day by affirming your true nature. Say to yourself, I'm one with the infinite power of the universe. All that the Father has is mine. I am limited only by my own imagination, and I choose to imagine greatness. Remember, my dear friends, the power you seek is not something you need to acquire or develop. It is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. Your task is not to become powerful, but to realize and manifest the power that is your very essence. Now, as we come to the close of our time together, I want you to take a moment to reflect on these 7 destructive habits. See how they have played out in your life, how they have limited your expression of your true self. But do not judge yourself harshly for having engaged in these habits. Instead, be grateful for the awareness you now have, for awareness is the first step towards change. From this moment forward, make a commitment to yourself to break free from these habits. Choose to engage in positive self-talk, to live fully in the present moment, to imagine a bright and beautiful future, to celebrate your uniqueness, to prioritize self-care, to embrace change, and to have unwavering faith in your own divine power. Remember, my beloved listeners, this work of transformation is not something you do once and then forget. It is a daily practice, a moment-by-moment choice to align yourself with your true nature. There will be times when you fall back into old patterns, when the old habits reassert themselves. When this happens, do not despair. Simply become aware, make a new choice, and continue on your journey. The path to freedom, to the full expression of your divine nature, is not always easy. It requires courage, persistence, and faith. But I promise you, the rewards are beyond anything you can currently imagine. As you break free from these destructive habits, you will find yourself stepping into a life of joy, abundance, and limitless possibility. You will begin to see the world through new eyes, recognizing the hand of God in every aspect of your life. You will feel a deep sense of peace and contentment, knowing that you are aligning yourself with the infinite wisdom of the universe. And most importantly, you will experience the joy of being fully, authentically yourself, unburdened by the limitations of the past, free to express your divine nature in all its glory. My dear friends, the choice is yours. Will you continue to live bound by these destructive habits, or will you choose freedom? Will you accept the limitations imposed by your past conditioning, or will you claim your birthright as a divine being? The power to change your life, to break free from these habits, lies within you at this very moment. I urge you, do not delay. Do not wait for some future time when conditions seem more favorable. The time for transformation is now. The power to change is here in this very moment. Seize it with both hands and never let go. As you leave this place tonight, carry with you the knowledge of your true nature. Let it infuse every aspect of your being. Let it guide your thoughts, your words, and your actions. And as you do, watch and wonder as your life begins to transform. Remember, my beloved listeners, you are not bound by your past, by your circumstances, or by the opinions of others. You are bound only by your own imagination. So dare to imagine greatness. Dare to break free from these destructive habits. Dare to claim your divine heritage and to live the life you were meant to live. For in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but you become a beacon of light for others. You demonstrate the truth of what I have shared tonight. You become living proof of the power that resides within each and every one of us. Go forth, my dear friends, and live from the awareness of your true self. Break free from these destructive habits and step into the fullness of your divine nature. The world is waiting for you to shine your light. Do not keep it waiting any longer. And so, with all the love in my heart, I bid you good night. May you go in peace, knowing that the power to transform your life lies within you. May you have the courage to break free from these destructive habits and to live as the divine being you truly are. And may your life be a testament to the infinite possibilities that await when we align ourselves with the truth of our being. Remember, my dear listeners, imagination creates reality. What you assume, you become. Therefore, assume the best about yourself and your life. Assume that you have the power to break free from these destructive habits. Assume that a life of joy, abundance, and fulfillment is your natural state of being. For in assuming these things, you make them your reality. As you leave this place tonight, I want you to carry with you a powerful tool for transformation. It is a simple technique, but when practiced faithfully, it has the power to revolutionize your life. I call it the I remember when technique. Here's how it works. Whenever you find yourself slipping back into one of these destructive habits, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and say to yourself, I remember when I used to engage in negative self-talk. How wonderful it is now that I speak to myself with love and kindness. Or I remember when I used to worry about the future. How freeing it is now that I trust in the perfect unfolding of my life. You see, by using the phrase, I remember when, you are placing the destructive habit in the past. You are creating a new story for yourself, one in which you have already overcome these limitations. And as you continue to tell this new story, your subconscious mind will align itself with this new reality. This technique harnesses the power of your imagination in a profound way. It allows you to step into the feeling of having already achieved the change you desire. And as we know, feeling is the secret. When you can feel the reality of your desired state, you magnetize it into your experience. So, my dear friends, use this technique daily. Use it whenever you catch yourself slipping into old patterns. Use it to reinforce your commitment to breaking free from these destructive habits. And as you do, you will find yourself naturally and effortlessly embodying the change you seek. Now, as we truly come to the close of our time together, I want to leave you with one final thought. The journey we have discussed tonight, the journey of breaking free from destructive habits and claiming your divine nature, is not just about personal transformation. It is about nothing less than the transformation of the world. You see, as you break free from these habits, as you step into the fullness of your being, you change the entire fabric of reality. Your transformation ripples out, touching the lives of all those around you. You become a living example of what is possible when we align ourselves with our true nature. Imagine, if you will, a world in which every person recognized their divine nature. A world in which negative self-talk was replaced by self-love. Where worry was replaced by trust. Where comparison was replaced by celebration of uniqueness. Imagine a world in which everyone prioritized self-care, embraced change, and had unwavering faith in their own power. This, my dear friends, is the world we're creating together. Each time you choose to break free from a destructive habit, you are contributing to this new world. Each time you choose love over fear, trust over worry, self-care over neglect, you are helping to usher in a new era of human consciousness. So go forth from this place, not just as individuals seeking personal transformation, but as agents of global change. Know that your personal journey of breaking free from these destructive habits is part of a larger movement, a collective awakening to our true nature. And remember, my beloved listeners, you are never alone on this journey. The same power that flows through me flows through you. The same divine intelligence that orchestrates the movements of the stars guides your every step. Trust in this power. Lean into it. Allow it to support you as you break free from these destructive habits and step into the fullness of your being. As you leave this place tonight, carry with you the knowledge that you are infinitely loved, infinitely supported, and infinitely powerful. You have within you everything you need to break free from these destructive habits and to create a life beyond your wildest dreams. So go now, my dear friends, and live from the depths of your being. Break free from these destructive habits and allow your light to shine brightly in the world. For in doing so, you fulfill your divine purpose and contribute to the healing and transformation of all humanity. May your journey be filled with joy, wonder, and the thrill of discovering the limitless potential that lies within you. And may you always remember that you are, in every moment, a perfect expression of the divine. Good night, my beloved friends. Until we meet again, may you walk in the awareness of your true nature, free from the bonds of destructive habits, and fully aligned with the infinite power of the universe. The word awaits your light. Shine brightly and never look back. Dear friends of the imagination, we are about to explore goes far beyond the conventional understanding of these. Failure and success are but two sides of the same coin, two aspects of the same infinite being that you are. They are not opposing forces, but rather they are the very fabric of the journey that leads you to the discovery and manifestation of your true self. For in truth, there is no failure, there is no success. There is only the continuous unfoldment of your divine nature. Let us begin by understanding what we mean when we speak of failure. The world would have you believe that failure is a final state, a judgment passed upon your efforts and your very being. But I tell you, failure is nothing more than a signpost on the road of your becoming. It is a teacher, a guide, a friend that points you towards the truth of who you really are. When you experience what the world calls failure, you are being invited to look deeper within yourself. You are being called to examine the beliefs, the assumptions, and the mental constructs that have led you to this point. For it is in these moments of perceived failure that the seeds of your greatness are sown. Consider for a moment the life of a seed. It is planted in the dark earth, surrounded by what appears to be failure, the absence of light, the weight of the soil pressing down upon it. And yet it is precisely in these conditions that the seed begins to sprout, to reach towards the light, to become the magnificent tree it is destined to be. You, my dear friends, are like that seed. Your moments of failure are the fertile soil in which your success is germinating. But unlike the seed, you possess the divine gift of imagination. And it is through this gift that you can transform your experience of failure into the reality of success. Now let us turn our attention to what we call success. The world would have you believe that success is an external achievement, a goal to be reached, a prize to be won. But I say to you, true success is nothing less than the full realization and expression of your divine nature. Success is not something you attain. It is something you recognize as the truth of your being. It is the state of consciousness in which you know beyond any shadow of doubt that you are one with the infinite creative power of the universe. It is the awareness that all that you desire already exists within you, waiting to be expressed in the world of form. The journey from failure to success, therefore, is not a journey of external conquest, but of internal awakening. It is a journey of shifting your consciousness from the limited perspective of the human ego to the boundless awareness of your divine self. Let me share with you a fundamental truth that, once understood and applied, will revolutionize your experience of life. The external world that you perceive is nothing more than an outpicturing of your inner states of consciousness, your thoughts or beliefs, your assumptions. These are the building blocks of your reality. When you stand in what appears to be failure, know this: you are simply witnessing the manifestation of your past thinking. The circumstances that surround you are the fruits of seeds planted in your consciousness in times gone by. But the wonderful news is this: you have the power to plant new seeds, to cultivate new states of consciousness, and thus to create a new reality. This power lies in your imagination. Your imagination is not a flight of fancy or a mere daydream. It is the very creative force of the universe, expressing itself through you. When you use your imagination to dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled, to feel the reality of your desire as an accomplished fact, you are engaging in the highest form of creative activity. Let me give you an example to illustrate this point. Suppose you find yourself in a state of financial lack. The world would call this a failure. You might be tempted to focus on the empty bank account, the unpaid bills, the seemingly insurmountable obstacles. But I say to you, this is the moment to exercise your divine imagination. Instead of dwelling on the lack, close your eyes and imagine yourself in a state of abundance. Feel the joy, the relief, the exhilaration of financial freedom. See yourself living in the home of your dreams, engaging in work that fulfills you, sharing your prosperity with others. Feel the texture of the life you desire as if it were already yours. In that moment of imagining, you are planting the seed of your new reality. You are shifting your consciousness from the state of lack to the state of abundance. And as you persist in this new state, as you live from this new assumption, you will find that your outer world begins to rearrange itself to match your inner vision. This, my friends, is the true meaning of the journey from failure to success. It is not about changing your actions. The actions will naturally flow from your new state of consciousness. It is about changing your conception of yourself and of the world around you. Remember, the world is yourself pushed out. Everything you perceive is a reflection of your own consciousness. Therefore, to change your world, you must change yourself. And to change yourself, you must change your conception of yourself. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, I've tried positive thinking before. I've attempted to visualize success, but nothing changed. To this, I say, it is not enough to think positively or to visualize casually. You must feel the reality of your desire. You must live from the assumption that what you desire is already yours. The secret lies in what I call the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It's not enough to see a mental picture of what you want. You must step into that picture, embody it, feel it with every fiber of your being. You must experience the state of having your desire. Now, in this very moment, let me give you a technique to help you achieve this state. I call it revision. At the end of each day, before you sleep, close your eyes and replay the events of the day in your imagination. But here's the key. Revise any event that was less than desirable. See it playing out exactly as you would have wished. If you had a difficult conversation with a colleague, replay that conversation in your mind, but this time, hear the words you wish had been spoken. Feel the harmony and understanding that you desire. If you receive news of a setback in your business, revise that scene. See yourself receiving news of unexpected success instead. As you practice this technique night after night, you are literally rewriting your subconscious beliefs. You are training your mind to dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled. And remember, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the outer world. By engaging in this practice, you are laying the foundation for a new reality. You are bridging the gap between what the world calls failure and what you know to be your inevitable success. Now, let us delve deeper into the nature of consciousness itself. For it is only by understanding the true nature of your being that you can fully grasp the power you possess to transform your life. You are not a limited physical being striving to achieve success in a hostile world. You are consciousness itself, the very awareness in which all experience arises, that you think you are. The personality of the body, the personal history, these are but costumes that consciousness wears in the grand play of life. When you truly understand this, you realize that there's no failure to overcome, no success to achieve. There's only consciousness taking on various forms and experiencing itself from countless perspectives. Your journey from failure to success is really consciousness awakening to its true nature through the vehicle of your individual experience. This understanding liberates you from the fear of failure and the anxious pursuit of success. It allows you to play in the field of life with joy and abandon, knowing that you cannot fail because you are the very source of all experience. Let me share with you a profound truth that, once realized, will transform your entire approach to life. The statement is this: I am. These two words contain within them the secret of all creation, all manifestation, all transformation. When you say I am, you are invoking the name of God within you. For I am is the self-definition of the infinite, creative consciousness that is the source of all that is. When you declare I am, you are aligning yourself with this infinite power. Now consider how you complete that statement. When you say I am a failure, you are defining your reality according to that limitation. You are instructing the infinite creative power within you to manifest the experience of failure. Similarly, when you say I am successful, you are commanding the same power to outpicture the experience of success. This is why it is crucial to be mindful of how you complete the statement I am. For whatever follows those two potent words becomes the mold into which the formless substance of creation flows. In your journey from failure to success, I urge you to make this your practice. Whenever you catch yourself saying or thinking, "I am followed by something undesirable," stop. Take a deep breath and consciously choose a new completion to that statement. Instead of, "I am struggling," say, "I'm abundantly prosperous." Instead of, "I am alone," say, "I'm surrounded by love and support." At first, this may feel like you're being untruthful. Your senses, conditioned by past experiences, may rebel against these new declarations. But remember, you are not speaking to your current circumstances. You are speaking to the infinite creative power within you, instructing it on what you choose to experience. As you persist in this practice, you will begin to feel a shift within you. The new statements will begin to feel more natural, more true. And as your inner state changes, you will witness the outer world reorganizing itself to match your new self-concept. This, my dear friends, is the art of conscious creation. It is the science of transforming failure into success through the power of your own consciousness. Now let us address a question that often arises when one begins to apply these principles. You might ask, "Neville, if I'm to live in the state of the wish fulfilled, does this mean I should ignore my current circumstances? Should I pretend that my problems don't exist?" To this I say, acknowledging your current circumstances doesn't mean accepting them as final or inevitable. You can be aware of where you stand while simultaneously holding the vision of where you desire to be. Think of it this way. If you were to travel from New York to Los Angeles, you would need to know two things: your current location, your destination. Knowing that you're in New York doesn't negate your ability to reach Los Angeles. In fact, it's essential information for planning your journey. In the same way, being aware of your current state of perceived failure doesn't prevent you from reaching your desired state of success. It simply gives you a starting point. The key is to not dwell in the current state, not to make it your home. Acknowledge it. Then immediately turn your attention and your feeling to the state you wish to inhabit. Remember, the circumstances you see around you are effects, not causes. They are the shadow cast by your previous states of consciousness. As you shift your consciousness, as you persist in the new state of the wish fulfilled, the shadows must of necessity change to conform to the new source. Let me share with you another powerful technique for making this shift. I call it the telephone technique. Here's how it works. Close your eyes and imagine that you are receiving a phone call from a dear friend or family member. In your imagination, hear their voice congratulating you on your magnificent success. Feel the joy in their voice, the pride they have in your accomplishments. Allow yourself to feel the emotions that would accompany such a call. Feel the gratitude, the excitement, the sense of fulfillment. Let these feelings permeate every cell of your body. This imaginal act, when charged with feeling, has the power to reshape your entire world. You see, your subconscious mind, which is the builder of your reality, communicates in the language of feeling. When you generate within yourself the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are giving your subconscious mind a new pattern to outpicture in your world. This is why it's not enough to merely visualize or affirm your desire. You must feel it. You must embody it. You must live from the assumption that it is already yours. This is the secret of transforming failure into success. Now, let us address another aspect of this journey that is often misunderstood. Many people believe that the path from failure to success requires intense struggle, relentless action, and ceaseless striving. But I say to you, true transformation comes not from action, but from a change in consciousness. This doesn't mean that you won't take action, but the action that springs from a transformed consciousness is entirely different from action born of struggle and strain. When you live from the state of the wish fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally and effortlessly taking the steps that lead to the manifestation of your desire. Think of it this way. If you were already the success you desire to be, how would you act? How would you speak? How would you carry yourself? By embodying these qualities now, you are aligning yourself with the state of consciousness that naturally produces success. This is what I mean when I say, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You are not pretending or faking it. You are tuning yourself to the frequency of your desire, allowing it to express itself through you. Let me give you a living example of this principle in action. There was once a man who came to me in a state of despair. He had lost his job, his savings were depleted, and he was on the verge of losing his home. By all worldly standards, he was a failure. I instructed this man to go home, and every night before sleep, to imagine himself in his own bedroom, but not as it currently was. I told him to imagine the bedroom exactly as it would be if he were living in the home of his dreams. I asked him to feel the texture of the sheets, to notice the color of the walls, to feel the plush carpet under his feet. The man followed these instructions faithfully. Night after night, he lived in his imagination as though he were already living in his dream home. During the day, even as he faced his challenging circumstances, he held on to the feeling he had cultivated in his imaginal acts. Within a month, this man received an unexpected job offer, a position far superior to the one he had lost. Within 3 months, he had not only stabilized his finances, but had accumulated enough for a down payment on a new home. And yes, the bedroom in that home was exactly as he had imagined it. This, my friends, is the power of living from the state of the wish fulfilled. This man did not overcome failure through struggle and strain. He transcended it by shifting his consciousness to the state of success. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, surely we need to take action in the world. We can't just sit and imagine all day. And you're right. Action is a part of life. But understand this. Inspired action that flows from the state of the wish fulfilled is vastly different from the frantic activity that stems from a consciousness of lack or failure. When you live from the state of success, you will find that opportunities present themselves to you. Doors will open that you didn't even know existed. You will be guided to take precisely the right actions at precisely the right time. This is the meaning of the biblical phrase. Your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. Your Father, in this context, is not some external deity. It is your own wonderful human imagination, which is one with the infinite creative power of the universe. When you impress your desire upon your subconscious mind through the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you set in motion forces beyond your conscious awareness. These forces work tirelessly to bring about the conditions and circumstances that match your new state of consciousness. Let us now explore another vital aspect of this journey from failure to success. It is the concept of persistence. Many people give up too soon on their dreams. They may try to imagine a new reality for a day or a week, and when they don't see immediate results, they conclude that it doesn't work. But I say to you, persistence is key. Just as a farmer doesn't plant a seed one day and expect to harvest a crop the next, you must allow time for your new state of consciousness to bear fruit in the world of form. Remember, you're dealing with your subconscious mind, which has been conditioned by years of thinking and feeling in a certain way. It may take time to impress the new pattern upon it, but if you persist, if you remain faithful to your imaginal act, your subconscious mind must eventually accept the new reality as fact. There's a wonderful biblical statement that illustrates this principle. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. This means that although the manifestation of your desire may seem delayed from your limited perspective, it is actually unfolding at precisely the right time in accordance with the natural processes of creation. Your role is to remain faithful to the state of the wish fulfilled. Do not waver. Do not doubt. Even if your senses deny it, even if the world seems to contradict it, hold fast to the feeling of your desire fulfilled, for it is your persistent assumption that will ultimately harden into fact. Let me share with you a powerful technique to help you maintain this persistence. I call it living in the end. Here's how it works. Throughout your day, pause periodically and ask yourself, how would I feel if my desire were already fulfilled? Then, allow yourself to experience those feelings fully. If your desire is for financial abundance, feel the sense of security and freedom that comes with having more than enough. If your desire is for a loving relationship, feel the warmth and joy of being deeply connected to another. If your desire is for a successful career, feel the satisfaction and pride of making a significant contribution in your field. By consistently returning to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are reinforcing the new pattern in your subconscious mind. You are living from the end, experiencing now what you desire to experience in what the world calls the future. Here's a profound truth. There's no future. There's only the eternal now. What you think of as the future is simply a projection of your current state of consciousness. By changing your consciousness now, you are literally creating a new future. This understanding liberates you from anxiety about the future and regret about the past. It empowers you to focus all your creative energy on the present moment, the only point of power, the only reality. Now let us address a common stumbling block on this journey from failure to success. It is the opinion of others. Many people allow the judgments and expectations of others to shape their self-concept and consequently their experience of life. But I say to you, the opinion of others has no power over you unless you give it power. Their judgments, their criticisms, their doubts, these are all based on their limited perception, their own fears and insecurities. They have nothing to do with your true potential, your divine nature. Remember, everyone in your world is yourself pushed out. The people you encounter are playing roles that correspond to your beliefs and assumptions. If you accept their limitations as truth, you are choosing to bind yourself with chains of your own making. Instead, I urge you to see every person as a messenger, bringing you information about your own consciousness. If someone expresses doubt in your abilities, ask yourself, where am I doubting myself? If someone criticizes your efforts, ask yourself, where am I judging myself harshly? By using others as mirrors for self-reflection, you can uncover limiting beliefs that may be holding you back. And once uncovered, these beliefs can be changed through the power of your imagination. Imagine a scene where the very people who doubted you are now congratulating you on your success. Feel their genuine admiration and respect. Allow yourself to experience the satisfaction of proving them wrong, not out of spite, but as a demonstration of the limitless potential within you. This imaginal act does more than just make you feel good. It actually reconfigures your relationship with these individuals on a fundamental level. As you persist in this new assumption, you will find that people begin to treat you differently. They will respond to the new you that you have imagined into being. Now let's delve into another crucial aspect of the journey. From failure to success is the concept of detachment. Many people, in their intense desire for success, become anxious and desperate. They cling to their desire with a death grip, constantly checking to see if it's manifesting, worrying about when and how it will come about. But I say to you, this anxiety and attachment actually push your desire away. It stems from a consciousness of lack, a belief that you don't have what you desire. And remember, it is your consciousness that creates your reality. True power comes from detachment. This doesn't mean you don't care about your desire. Rather, it means you're so confident in its fulfillment that you can relax and allow it to unfold naturally. Think of it this way. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You water it, you ensure it gets sunlight, and then you trust in the natural process of growth. Your desire is like that seed. Once you have planted it in your subconscious mind through the feeling of the wish fulfilled, your role is to nurture it with your consistent assumption and then allow it to grow. This detachment, this trust in the process, is what the biblical writers meant when they said, let go and let God. God, in this context, is not an external being, but the creative power of your own wonderful human imagination. When you can plant the seed of your desire and then go about your life with calm assurance, knowing that what you have imagined must inevitably come to pass, you have mastered the art of creation. This is the state of consciousness that transforms failure into success effortlessly and naturally. Let me give you a technique to cultivate this detachment. I call it the ladder technique. Before you go to sleep at night, write down on a piece of paper that you will dream of climbing a ladder. Place this paper by your bedside. Then as you drift off to sleep, Imagine yourself climbing a ladder. Feel the rungs under your hands, the stretch in your muscles as you ascend. Do this for several nights in a row. What you'll find is that you will indeed dream of climbing a ladder. But here's the key. During your waking hours, don't think about the ladder or the dream at all. Go about your day as usual. This exercise teaches you the power of impressing a desire upon your subconscious mind and then detaching from it. Just as you planted the seed of the ladder dream and allowed it to unfold without anxious attachment, so too can you plant the seed of any desire and allow it to manifest in its own perfect timing. As we near the conclusion of our exploration, let us reflect on the true meaning of success. The world would have you believe that success is about accumulating wealth, achieving fame, or gaining power over others. But I say to you, true success is the full realization and expression of your divine nature. You are not a limited being striving to become successful. You are success itself, temporarily wearing the costume of limitation. Your journey is not about becoming something you are not, but about remembering and embodying who you truly are. When you live from this understanding, you transcend the very concepts of failure and success. You enter a state of being where every experience, every circumstance is recognized as a perfect expression of the divine life within you. In this state, what the world calls failure becomes a blessed opportunity for growth and self-discovery. What the world calls success becomes a joyous expression of your innate creativity. You move through life with grace and ease, knowing that you cannot fail because you are one with the source of all creation. My friends, as we come to the end of this discourse, I want to leave you with this final thought. The journey from failure to success is not a journey at all. It is an awakening. It is the process of remembering your true identity as a divine, limitless being. Every circumstance in your life, whether you label it as failure or success, is a catalyst for this awakening. Every experience is an invitation to know yourself more deeply, to express your divine nature more fully. So I say to you, embrace every moment of your life with gratitude and wonder. Use your imagination not to escape reality, but to create reality. Live from the state of the wish fulfilled, not as a technique, but as a testament to your true nature. Remember, the power that you seek is already within you. It is closer than your breath, nearer than your heartbeat. It is the very essence of your being. As you align with this power, as you allow it to express itself through you, you will witness the miraculous transformation of your life. Failure and success are not endpoints. They're not destinations. They are simply different notes in the grand symphony of your becoming. Play them well. Play them with joy. For in truth, you are the composer, the conductor, and the entire orchestra of your life. Go forth now, not in search of success, but in the certainty of your divine nature. Live in the state of the wish fulfilled. Allow your imagination to lead you. Trust in the perfect unfolding of your desires. For as you do this, you become a living testament to the creative power of consciousness. You are the operant power. You are the miracle. You are the embodiment of success. Now go and live from that truth and watch as the world reshapes itself to match the grandeur of your vision. Thank you. And may your journey be filled with the joy of continuous awakening and the thrill of endless creation. Let us begin by understanding the true nature of belief. Belief, my dear listeners, is not merely a fleeting thought or a hopeful wish. It is a state of consciousness, a living, breathing reality within you. When you truly believe, you are not simply entertaining a possibility. You are embodying a certainty. You are living from the end, experiencing in your imagination the fulfillment of your desire as an accomplished fact. Now you may ask, Neville, how can mere belief make everything possible? To answer this, we must first grasp the fundamental truth of our existence. Consciousness is the only reality. The world you perceive around you, with all its seeming solidity and permanence, is nothing more than an outpicturing of your own consciousness. It is a shadow, a reflection of the beliefs and assumptions you hold within. When you change your beliefs, when you alter the contents of your consciousness, the world has no choice but to conform to this new inner reality. It must, For there's no other power in the universe save that which beats within your own heart, that which resides in your own magnificent human imagination. Consider for a moment the things you currently believe to be true about yourself and your world. Perhaps you believe that success is hard to come by, that love is elusive, that abundance is for others but not for you. These beliefs, whether you're conscious of them or not, are shaping your experience at this very moment. They are the invisible architects of your life, constructing your reality brick by brick, experience by experience. But here's the wonderful truth, my friends. Just as you have accepted these limiting beliefs, you have the power to accept new, empowering ones. You have the God-given ability to choose your beliefs, to select the assumptions upon which you will build your life. And when you exercise this power, when you dare to believe in the fulfillment of your heart's desires, you set in motion forces beyond your wildest dreams. Let me share with you a principle that has the power to revolutionize your understanding of belief and manifestation. It is that the feeling is the secret. When you believe that something is possible, truly possible for you, you experience a distinct feeling. It is a feeling of naturalness, of rightness, of course this is mine. This feeling is not one of anxious hoping or desperate wishing. It is a calm. It is the feeling of one who knows that their good is already theirs, who understands that what they desire is already accomplished in the realm of infinite possibilities, waiting only for their acceptance to be made manifest in the world of form. To cultivate this feeling, to nurture this belief, you must make use of your imaginative faculty. For your imagination, my dear friends, is nothing less than God in action within you. It is the creative power of the universe, localized and individualized in you. When you use your imagination to create a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire, when you enter into that scene and experience it as real, you are exercising your divine prerogative as a co-creator with God. Let me give you an example to illustrate this principle. Suppose you desire financial abundance. The common approach would be to focus on the lack of money, to worry about bills, to stress about how to make ends meet. But this approach only perpetuates the experience of lack. Instead, I urge you to do this. Close your eyes and imagine a scene that implies your financial abundance is a present fact. Perhaps you see yourself confidently paying all your bills with ease. Perhaps you imagine a conversation with a friend where you casually mention your flourishing bank account. Or maybe you feel the joy and freedom of making a significant donation to a cause close to your heart. Whatever scene feels most natural to you, enter into it fully. Feel the relief, the gratitude, the sense of security that comes with financial abundance. As you imagine this scene, as you feel the reality of it, you are planting a seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. This seed, nurtured by your belief, watered by your feeling of naturalness, will grow into your physical reality. Remember, my friends, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the outer world. To your subconscious, they are one and the same. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, I've tried to believe before. I've tried to be positive, to think good thoughts, but nothing changed. To this I say, fleeting surface-level affirmations are not enough. What is required is a fundamental shift in your state of consciousness. You must become the person who already has what you desire. You must live from the end. This, my dear listeners, is the art of assumption. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you walk and talk and think from the standpoint of your desire accomplished, you're aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. You are stepping into the role of the person you wish to be. And in doing so, you compel the outer world to reflect this new inner reality. Let me share with you a story that illustrates the power of belief and assumption. I once knew a man who had been unemployed for months. He had applied for countless jobs, gone on numerous interviews, but to no avail. With each rejection, his belief in his own employability diminished, and his outer world faithfully reflected this belief. One day, after hearing me speak on these principles, he decided to apply them. Instead of continuing to search desperately for a job, he began to assume the feeling of being gainfully employed. Each night before sleeping, he would imagine himself driving to work, sitting at his desk, interacting with colleagues. He felt the satisfaction of a job well done, the security of a regular paycheck. Within 2 weeks, he received a call from a company he had interviewed with months ago. They had an opening and thought of him immediately. He was offered the job on the spot at a salary higher than he had initially hoped for. This, my friends, is the power of belief in action. When he changed his assumption, when he dared to believe his employed state, the outer world rearranged itself to match his inner conviction. Now, I want to address a question that may be arising in some of your minds. You may be wondering, if everything is possible when I believe, does that mean I can believe in anything, no matter how fantastic or improbable? Yes, absolutely yes. For remember, the world you see around you is nothing more than an outpicturing of consciousness. The laws that seem to govern it, the limitations that appear to constrain it, exist only because you have given them power through your belief. In the realm of infinite possibilities, which is the true nature of reality, there are no limitations save those you accept in your own mind. The only boundaries are those you draw with your own beliefs. When you truly grasp this truth, when you internalize it and live from it, you will understand that nothing, absolutely nothing, is impossible to you. Consider the great innovators and visionaries throughout history. These were individuals who dared to believe in possibilities that others dismissed as fantasy. They held fast to their vision even in the face of ridicule and opposition. In doing so, they reshaped the world. They did not bow to the limitations of consensus reality. Instead, they used the power of their belief to bring into manifestation that which had previously been deemed impossible. You, my dear friends, have the same power within you. You have the ability to reshape your world, to bring into being experiences and achievements that others might label as impossible. But to do this, you must be willing to stand firm in your belief, even when the outer world seems to contradict it. You must be willing to walk by faith and not by sight, trusting in the invisible reality of your imagination more than the visible facts of your current circumstances. Let us delve deeper into the mechanics of this process. When you choose to believe in the possibility of your desire, when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are actually shifting your entire state of consciousness. You are moving from one state, the state of lack, or wanting, to another state, the state of fulfillment. This shift in consciousness is far more than a mental exercise. It is a repositioning of your entire being. It affects not only your thoughts, but your emotions, your energy, your very vibration. And as you maintain this new state, as you consistently occupy this new position in consciousness, your outer world must, by the immutable laws of creation, begin to reflect this shift. Think of it like this. Your consciousness is like a radio transmitter, constantly broadcasting a signal to the universe. This signal is composed of your beliefs, your assumptions, your dominant thoughts and feelings. The universe, like a cosmic radio receiver, picks up this signal and responds by orchestrating events, encounters, and circumstances that match your broadcast. When you change your beliefs, when you assume a new state, you are essentially changing the frequency of your broadcast. And just as surely as changing the station on a radio brings in a different program, changing your inner state brings about a different outer experience. Now, I want to address a common stumbling block that may encounter on this journey of conscious creation. Often, when people first hear these teachings, they become excited and immediately try to believe in the biggest, most audacious desires they can imagine. While I applaud this enthusiasm, I must caution, true belief is not something that can be forced or faked. You cannot trick your subconscious mind. You cannot fool the universe. If you try to believe in something that feels utterly foreign or impossible to you, you will only create inner conflict and frustration. Instead, I urge you to start with what I call the art of the possible. Begin by choosing beliefs that stretch you slightly beyond your current experience, but not so far that they feel completely unattainable. As you successfully manifest these smaller desires, as you prove to yourself the power of your belief, you will naturally expand your sense of what's possible. Your faith will grow, your belief will strengthen, and you will find yourself capable of assuming states that once seemed out of reach. Remember, my friends, this is not a race. It is not a competition. It is a journey of self-discovery, a process of unveiling your own divine nature. Be patient with yourself. Be gentle, but also be persistent. For with each belief you successfully embody, with each desire you bring into manifestation, you are expanding your consciousness and increasing your power as a deliberate creator. Now, let us address another crucial aspect of this process, the role of action. Some misinterpret these teachings to mean that belief alone is sufficient, that one can simply sit back and wait for their desires to manifest. While it's true that the inner work of consciousness is the most important part of the creative process, it does not negate the need for inspired action. When you truly believe in the possibility of your desire, when you fully assume the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally inspired to take actions that align with this new state. These actions will not feel forced or stressful. They will not come from a place of lack or desperation. Instead, they will feel natural, joyful, almost effortless. This is because when you are living from the state of the wish fulfilled, you are allowing your expanded consciousness to guide your actions. You are tapping into a wisdom beyond your limited ego mind. The actions you take from this state will be far more effective, far more aligned with the realization of your desire than any amount of frantic doing from a state of lack or need. Let me give you an example to illustrate this point. Imagine you desire a romantic partnership. You could spend your time desperately searching for love, going on countless dates, trying to force a connection. Or you could assume the state of being in a loving relationship. You could feel the joy, the companionship, the deep connection in your imagination. From this state, your actions would be very different. You might find yourself naturally engaging in activities you enjoy, radiating a sense of fulfillment and self-love. You might find yourself more open, more approachable, more authentically yourself. And in this state, you are far more likely to attract the right person into your life, often in ways you could never have planned or anticipated. This, my dear friends, is the dance between inner states and outer actions. When your inner state is aligned with your desire, your outer actions become a joyful expression of that alignment, rather than a desperate attempt to fill a perceived lack. Now, I want to address a question that often arises when discussing the power of belief. What about other people? Can my belief change their behavior or override their free will? This is a profound question that touches on the very nature of our shared reality. Remember, my friends, that everyone in your world is you pushed out. They are reflections of your consciousness, playing roles that correspond to your beliefs and assumptions. This does not mean they are not real or that they don't have their own consciousness. Rather, it means that your experience of them, your interaction with them, is shaped by your own state of consciousness. When you change your beliefs about someone, when you assume a new state in relation to them, you are not manipulating them or overriding their free will. You're simply shifting to a parallel reality where they behave in accordance with your new assumption. In essence, you are choosing to experience a version of them that aligns with your new state. This understanding has profound implications for all your relationships. It means that if you want to experience a change in someone's behavior towards you, the most effective approach is not to try to change them directly, but to change your own assumptions about them. As you hold steadfastly to this new assumption, as you live from the state where they are as you desire them to be, you will find your experiences with them transforming, often in ways that seem miraculous. Let's take this principle even further. When you truly understand that everything is possible when you believe, you begin to take full responsibility for your entire life experience. You recognize that every circumstance, every encounter, every event in your life is a reflection of your own consciousness. This realization is incredibly empowering, for it means that by changing your consciousness, you can change anything in your life. Are you experiencing financial lack? Look to your beliefs about money and abundance. You find yourself in unfulfilling relationships? Examine your assumptions about love and your own worthiness. Is your health less than optimal? Consider your belief about your body and its capacity for well-being. In every area of your life, you have the power to choose new beliefs, to assume new states of consciousness. And as you do so, as you consistently embody these new states, you will watch in awe as your outer world reshapes itself to match your inner convictions. Now, some of you may be thinking, this all sounds wonderful, Neville, but how do I maintain this belief? This new state of consciousness when my current reality seems to contradict it. This, my friends, is where the real work begins. This is where you must exercise your spiritual muscles, where you must demonstrate your faith in the unseen reality of your imagination over the apparent facts of your physical senses. Remember, your physical senses show you only the effects of past beliefs and assumptions. They show you where you have been in consciousness, not where you are going. If you wait for your outer world to change before you change your belief, you will wait forever. You must have the courage to believe in the reality of your imagined state, even when your senses deny it. This does not mean you ignore your current reality, or pretend it doesn't exist, rather. It means you give more importance, more attention, more emotional intensity to your desired state than to your current circumstances. You acknowledge your present situation, but you do not give it power over your imagination. One powerful technique for maintaining your desired state in the face of contradictory circumstances is what I call living in the end. This involves creating a short, symbolic scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire and returning to this scene repeatedly throughout your day. For instance, if you desire financial abundance, your scene might be looking at a bank statement showing a large balance, or shaking hands with someone who is congratulating you on your financial success. The specifics of the scene are not as important as the feeling it evokes. As you return to this scene again and again, as you step into it and feel it as real, you are reinforcing your new state of consciousness, strengthening your belief in the possibility of your desire. Another powerful tool for maintaining your belief is gratitude. When you cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for your desire as if it were already fulfilled, you align yourself with the frequency of having rather than wanting. Gratitude is the feeling of your wish fulfilled. It is the emotional state of one who knows their good is already theirs. Practice feeling grateful for your desire throughout your day. Give thanks for it as you wake in the morning and as you lay down to sleep at night. Let gratitude infuse your entire being. For when you are truly grateful, you cannot simultaneously feel lack or anxiety. Gratitude and faith go hand in hand, each reinforcing the other. Now, my dear friends, as we delve deeper into this exploration of the power of belief, I want to address a common misconception. Many people, when they first encounter these teachings, believe that they must maintain a constant state of positive thinking, that they must never allow a negative thought to enter their minds. This is not only impossible, but unnecessary. You are human, and it is natural for doubts and fears to arise, especially when you are stretching beyond your current experience. The key is not to eliminate these thoughts entirely, but to not dwell on them, to not give them power. When a doubting thought arises, simply acknowledge it, and then gently return your attention to your desired state. Think of it like this. Your mind is like a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. You cannot prevent birds from flying over your garden, but you can prevent them from nesting there. In the same way, you cannot prevent every negative thought from crossing your mind. But you can choose not to nurture these thoughts, not to water them with your attention and emotional energy. Instead, focus on planting and nurturing the seeds of your desired reality. Water them with your attention, fertilize them with your emotion, tend to them with your consistent assumption of the state of wish fulfilled. As you do this, these seeds will grow strong, eventually crowding out the weeds of doubt and disbelief. Remember, my friends, belief is not a one-time event. It is not something you do once and then sit back and wait for results. Belief, true belief that makes all things possible, is a practice. It is something you cultivate daily, hourly, moment by moment. It is a way of life, a constant choosing to align yourself with the reality you desire to experience. As you embark on this journey of conscious creation, of living from the state of your wish fulfilled, you may encounter resistance from those around you. Friends, family, even your own habitual patterns of thought may seem to conspire against your new understanding. This is natural and to be expected. The world around you is accustomed to your old state of consciousness and may initially resist your attempts to shift to a new state. Do not let this deter you. Remember, everyone in your world is you pushed out. Their resistance is simply a reflection of your own doubts and fears. As you stand firm in your new state, as you persist in your assumption of your wish fulfilled, you will find that the world around you has no choice but to conform to your new consciousness. This persistence, this unwavering faith in the face of apparent contradiction, is what separates those who truly manifest their desires from those who merely wish and hope. It is the difference between those who live lives of miraculous achievement and those who remain bound by the limitations of their past beliefs. Now, let us address another crucial aspect of this process. Detachment. Many of you, in your eagerness to manifest your desires, may find yourselves obsessing over the when and how of your manifestation. You may find yourself constantly checking for signs, anxiously awaiting the physical proof of your desires' fulfillment. But remember, my dear friends, attachment to outcomes is a form of doubt. It is an implicit statement that you do not truly believe in the reality of your desire. For if you truly believed, if you were living completely from the state of wish fulfilled, you would feel no need to anxiously await its manifestation. You would know with unshakable certainty that it is already yours. This is why I often say, live as though you have it. When you can completely relax into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you can go about your day secure in the knowledge that your desire is already a fait accompli in the realm of infinite possibilities, you open the way for its swift manifestation in your physical reality. Detachment does not mean you don't care about your desire. On the contrary, it means you care so deeply, you believe so completely, that you can rest in the absolute assurance of its fulfillment. It is a state of peaceful expectancy, of calm certainty. It is the feeling of one who knows their good is already theirs and is content to allow it to unfold in divine timing. As you practice living from this state of calm assurance, you will find that your manifestations come about in ways that are often surprising and delightful. The how and when of your desires' fulfillment will often exceed your limited imagination. For remember, the infinite intelligence of the universe has access to possibilities far beyond what your rational mind can conceive. Your job is not to figure out how your desire will manifest. Your job is simply to assume the state of its fulfillment, to live from the end, and to allow the creative power of the universe to bring about its manifestation in the most perfect way. Now, I want to address a question that often arises as people begin to experience success with these principles. They ask, Neville, if everything is possible when I believe, does that mean I can manifest anything, no matter how grand or seemingly impossible? And to this I say, yes, absolutely. Remember, my dear friends, the only limits that exist are those you accept in your own mind. The universe is infinite, and you are a divine being with access to all the power of creation. When you truly grasp this, when you fully embody this truth, you will understand that nothing, absolutely nothing, is beyond your ability to manifest. With great power comes great responsibility. As you begin to grasp the true extent of your creative ability, it becomes crucial to examine your desires carefully. Ask yourself, is this desire in alignment with my highest good and the highest good of all? Does it come from a place of love and expansion, or from fear and lack? For you see, my friends, when you understand the power of your consciousness to shape reality, you also understand that you are responsible for everything you create. There is no one else to blame, no external circumstances to point to. You are the author of your life story, the creator of your reality. This realization can be both liberating and sobering. It means that you have the power to create a life beyond your wildest dreams. But it also means that if you are experiencing circumstances you do not desire, you must look within to find the source of these experiences in your own consciousness. As you continue on this journey of conscious creation, of living from the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find that your desires themselves begin to evolve. As you experience the joy of manifesting your initial desires, as you prove to yourself the power of your consciousness, you will naturally begin to desire experiences of greater expansion, of deeper fulfillment, of more profound service to others. This is the natural evolution of consciousness. As you grow in your understanding and application of these principles, you will find yourself desiring not just personal gain, but the upliftment of all humanity. You will begin to see yourself not as a separate individual striving for personal success, but as an integral part of the cosmic whole, using your creative power for the benefit of all. And this, my dear friends, is where the true magic happens. When you align your desires with the highest good of all, when you use your creative power in service of love and expansion, you tap into a power beyond anything you've previously experienced. You become a channel for divine creativity, a vessel through which the infinite intelligence of the universe can express itself in ever more beautiful and harmonious ways. As we near the conclusion of our time together, I want to leave you with this final thought. The power to believe, to assume the state of your wish fulfilled, to live from the end is not just a tool for manifesting material desires. It is, in essence, your birthright as a divine being. It is the means by which you fulfill your highest purpose, express your truest self, and contribute to the ongoing evolution of consciousness. When you truly believe that everything is possible, when you live from this state of infinite potential, you become a beacon of light in the world. Your very presence inspires others to question their own limitations, to reach for their own dreams. Your life becomes a living testament to the creative power of consciousness, a demonstration of what is possible when one dares to believe. So go forth, my dear friends, with this knowledge burning brightly within you. Know that you are not bound by the limitations of your past, by the constraints of your current circumstances, or by the doubts of those around you. You are a divine creator, capable of reshaping your reality in accordance with your deepest desires and highest aspirations. Believe in the power of your consciousness. Trust in the reality of your imagination. Live from the state of your wish fulfilled. For when you do, when you truly embody this state of being, you will find that everything, absolutely everything, is possible. The entire universe conspires to bring your desires into manifestation, often in ways more wonderful than you could have imagined. Remember, the feeling is the secret. Cultivate the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Nurture it with your attention. Feed it with your emotion. Protect it from the doubts and fears that may arise. As you do this, as you persist in this state, despite all apparent contradictions, you will watch in as your outer world reshapes itself to match your inner conviction. And as you experience success, as you manifest your desires and reshape your reality, remember to share this knowledge with others, not through preaching or proselytizing, but through living example. Let your life be a testament to the power of belief. Let your achievements inspire others to question their own limitations and reach for their own dreams. For in truth, my dear friends, when you understand and apply these principles, when you live from the state of your wish fulfilled, you become a co-creator with the divine. You step into your true power as a conscious, deliberate creator of your reality. And in doing so, you contribute to the ongoing evolution of consciousness, to the gradual awakening of all humanity to its divine nature and infinite potential. So go now, with this knowledge burning brightly within you. Believe in the power of your consciousness. Trust in the reality of your imagination. Live from the state of your wish fulfilled. For when you do, you will find that truly, when you believe, everything is possible. The entire universe is yours to shape, to mold, to create in accordance with your highest vision. Remember, you are the operant power in your world. You are the one who decides what is possible and what is not. Choose wisely, believe fully, and watch as miracles unfold in your life. For you are, in truth, the very power of creation itself, individualized in human form. Embrace this truth, live from this understanding, and step into the magnificent, miraculous life. That is your divine birthright. Go forth and create. My dear friends, the world awaits your conscious command. Everything is possible when you believe. This is the truth that will set you free, the knowledge that will empower you to live the life of your dreams. Embrace it fully, embody it completely, and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. For when you believe, truly believe, everything is possible. I urge you to listen with not just your ears, but with your heart and soul. For in these 7 secrets lies the key to unlocking the infinite potential within you, the power to shape your reality and manifest your deepest desires. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. And that is why these 7 things must be guarded with the utmost care and discretion. Let us begin with the first and perhaps most crucial secret. Never reveal the true extent of your imagination. My beloved, your imagination is the very essence of creation. It is the God force within you, the power that shapes worlds and molds reality to your will. When you grasp the true nature of your imagination, you hold in your hands the key to the universe. But why? You may ask, should we keep this power hidden? It is not out of selfishness or a desire to hoard knowledge, but rather because the world at large is not yet ready to comprehend the magnitude of this truth. Most people live their lives believing they are at the mercy of external forces, victims of circumstance and fate. They cannot fathom the idea that their own consciousness is the sole creator of their reality. By keeping the true extent of your imagination hidden, you protect yourself from the doubts and limitations of others. You shield your creative power from those who would seek to diminish it or use it for their own ends. Remember, my dear ones, your imagination is sacred. It is the holy of holies within your consciousness, and it must be guarded as such. This leads us seamlessly to our second secret. Never reveal the specific details of your desires and goals. Now, this may seem counterintuitive. After all, aren't we taught to share our dreams, to speak them into existence? But I tell you this, the most powerful manifestations occur in the silence of your own mind. When you share your desires with others, you expose them to the harsh light of the world's limitations. You invite doubt, skepticism, and sometimes even the well-meaning, but misguided advice of those who cannot see the grand vision you hold in your mind's eye. By keeping your desires close to your heart, you will allow them to gestate in the fertile soil of your imagination, protected from the weeds of doubt and disbelief. Think of your desire as a seed. Would you dig it up every day to see if it has sprouted? Of course not. You plant it, water it, and trust in the unseen process of growth. So too must you treat your desires. Plant them in the rich soil of your consciousness. Nurture them with your unwavering belief, and allow them to grow in the sacred silence of your inner world. This brings us to our third secret, which is intimately connected to the previous 2. Never reveal the techniques and practices you use to manifest your desires. My friends, the methods you use to impress your subconscious mind, to enter the state of wish fulfilled, these are your personal keys to the kingdom. They are the unique combination that unlocks the vault of infinite possibilities for you. Why keep these techniques hidden? Because what works for you may not work for another. Each of us has our own unique way of connecting with the divine within. By sharing your methods, you risk diluting their power, or worse, having them dismissed or ridiculed by those who do not understand. Moreover, when others adopt your techniques without truly understanding the principles behind them, they may meet with disappointment, and in their frustration, they may cast doubt on the entire process. Remember, the techniques themselves are not the source of your power. They're merely the tools you use to access the infinite creative force within you. The true power lies in your understanding and application of the law. By keeping your methods private, you maintain the purity of your practice and the potency of your manifestations. Now, let us move to the fourth secret, which is perhaps the most challenging. For many, reveal your moments of doubt or uncertainty. My beloved, in your journey of conscious creation, there will be times when your faith wavers, when the gap between your inner vision and your outer reality seems insurmountable. These moments are natural and even necessary for your growth. They are the resistance that strengthens your spiritual muscles. But these moments of doubt are for your eyes only. When you share your uncertainties with others, you give them substance. You breathe life into your doubts, allowing them to take root in your reality. Moreover, you invite others to join you in your disbelief, potentially creating a chorus of negativity that can drown out the whispers of your faith. Instead, when doubt arises, turn inward. Seek the comfort and reassurance of your own divine nature. Remember that these moments of uncertainty are merely the death throes of your old limiting beliefs. They are the darkness before the dawn of your new reality. By keeping these moments private, you allow yourself the space to process them, to transmute them into renewed faith and determination. This secret flows naturally into our fifth. Never reveal the full extent of your inner transformations. As you continue to apply the law and live from the state of wish fulfilled, you will undergo profound inner changes. Your consciousness will expand. Your perception of reality will shift, and you will begin to see the world through new eyes. These transformations are sacred and deeply personal. They represent your evolving relationship with the divine within you. By keeping these changes private, you allow them to deepen and solidify without the interference of external opinions or expectations. Moreover, as you transform internally, your outer world will inevitably begin to reflect these changes. People may notice differences in your behavior, your attitude, or your circumstances. Let them wonder. Let them be inspired by the mystery of your transformation. For in their wondering, they may begin to question their own limitations and open themselves to the possibility of change. Now, dear ones, we come to the sixth secret, which is closely tied to all that we have discussed so far. Never reveal the true source of your power. The world is filled with people seeking external solutions, looking for the next guru, the next technique, the next miracle cure. But you, my beloved, know that the true source of all power lies within. By keeping this knowledge to yourself, you avoid the pitfall of becoming a crutch for others. You prevent them from placing their faith in you rather than in the God within themselves. Remember, your purpose is not to be a savior or a guru, but to be a living example of what is possible when one fully embraces their divine nature. Moreover, by keeping the source of your power hidden, you maintain a certain mystique, a sense of wonder that can inspire others to look within themselves for answers. You become a mirror in which they can see their own potential reflected. And finally, we arrive at our seventh and perhaps most crucial secret. Never reveal the full extent of your understanding of the law. My dear friends, as you deepen your practice and your understanding of the law of consciousness, you will come to realizations that may seem incredible, even impossible, to those who have not yet awakened to this truth. You will understand that time is an illusion, that all possible realities exist simultaneously, that you are not just creating your future, but continuously recreating your past and present. You will grasp the true meaning of statements like there is no one to change, of self, and the whole vast world is yourself pushed out. These truths in their full magnitude can be overwhelming and even frightening to those who are not ready to receive them. By keeping the depth of your understanding private, you avoid the risk of being misunderstood or labeled as delusional. You protect yourself from the resistance and ridicule that often greet ideas that challenge the established worldview. Moreover, you allow others the joy of discovery. Just as you have journeyed to this understanding, so too must others find their own paths. Your role is not to force-feed them the truth, but to live it so fully and completely that they cannot help but be inspired to seek it for themselves. Now, my beloved, as we have explored these seven secrets, you may be wondering, but Neville, if we keep all of this hidden, how can we help others? How can we share this transformative knowledge? And to this I say, you share it through your being, not your words. As you apply these principles in your life, as you live from the state of wish fulfilled and manifest your desires, you become a living testament to the power of the law. Your life becomes your message. People will be drawn to your energy, to the peace and joy that radiate from you. They will wonder at the seeming ease with which you navigate life's challenges. And in their wondering, they will begin to question their own limitations. Remember, my dear ones, the most powerful teaching is not done through words, but through example. By living these truths, By becoming the embodiment of conscious creation, you light the way for others. You become a beacon of possibility in a world that so desperately needs it. But always remember to maintain the sanctity of these 7 secrets, for in their privacy lies their power. Just as a seed must gestate in the darkness of the soil before it can burst forth into the light, so too must these truths take root in the privacy of your consciousness before they can manifest in your reality. As you go forth from this place, carrying these 7 secrets close to your heart, I urge you to reflect deeply on their implications. Consider how you can apply them in your daily life, how you can deepen your understanding and your practice while maintaining their sacred privacy. Remember, my beloved, that you are not withholding these truths out of selfishness or a desire for power over others. Rather, you are protecting the purity of your practice and allowing others the joy of their own discovery. You are honoring the divine within you by treating these truths with the reverence they deserve. As you continue on your journey of conscious creation, you will find that these 7 secrets become second nature to you. They will inform every aspect of your being, guiding your thoughts, words, and actions. You will move through the world with a quiet confidence, a deep inner, knowing that you are the master of your reality. And as you do so, you will notice a wonderful paradox. The more you keep these secrets, the more their effects will be visible in your life. People will be drawn to your energy, to the peace and abundance that seem to follow you wherever you go. They will sense that you hold a great truth, even if they cannot name it. In these moments, remember the words of the great masters who came before us. They did not reveal the fullness of their understanding to all who approached them. Instead, they spoke in parables and analogies, revealing the truth only to those who had eyes to see and ears to hear. You, my dear ones, must do the same. When others ask you the secret of your success, of your inner peace, of your seeming ability to bend reality to your will, smile knowingly and direct them inward. Encourage them to seek their own answers, to explore the vast universe that exists within their own consciousness. For in truth, these 7 secrets are not truly secrets at all. They are universal truths, available to all who are willing to look beyond the veil of physical reality. By keeping them private, you are not hoarding knowledge, but rather honoring the sacred journey that each soul must undertake to discover their own divine nature. As we near the end of our time together, I want you to take a moment to reflect on how these 7 secrets resonate within you. Feel the power they hold, the potential they unlock. Imagine how your life will transform as you fully embrace and embody these truths. Remember, my beloved, that you are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are that force, individualized and made manifest. By honoring these 7 secrets, you are honoring your own divine nature. You are creating a sacred space within yourself, where the miracle of conscious creation can unfold unimpeded by the doubts and limitations of the outside world. As you leave this place and return to your daily lives, carry these secrets with you like precious jewels. Let them inform your every thought, word, and action. Live from the state of one who knows these truths, who understands the infinite power that resides within them. And as you do so, watch and wonder as your world begins to transform. See how opportunities seem to arise out of nowhere. How the very circumstances of your life rearrange themselves to match your inner state. Observe how people respond to you differently, drawn to the quiet power and certainty that emanates from you. But through it all, remember to keep these 7 secrets close to your heart. Let your life be your message, your transformed reality be your teaching. For in doing so, you become a living example of what is possible when one fully embraces the law of consciousness. My dear friends, as we conclude our exploration of these 7 sacred secrets, I want to impress upon you once more the importance of their privacy. These are not truths to be shouted from the rooftops or debated in public forums. They are to be lived, to be embodied, to be expressed through the very fabric of your being. As you go forth from this place, you carry with you the power to reshape your reality, to manifest your deepest desires, to live a life of true freedom and abundance. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Use this knowledge wisely. Apply it with love and compassion, and always honor the divine spark within every being you encounter. Never reveal these 7 things to anyone, my beloved. Instead, reveal them through your transformed life, your inner peace, your unwavering faith in the goodness of the universe. Be a living testament to the power of conscious creation, a beacon of light in a world that is only just beginning to awaken to these profound truths. Go now and create the life of your dreams. The entire universe is eagerly awaiting your command, ready to mold itself to your imagination. Remember these 7 secrets. Hold them close and watch as miracles unfold in your life. And so, my dear ones, our time together draws to a close. But remember, the real work begins now, in the silent laboratory of your own consciousness. Apply these truths, live these secrets, and prepare to be amazed at the magic that unfolds in your life. You are the operant power, the divine imaginer, the creator of worlds. Never forget this truth and never reveal the full extent of your power. Instead, live it, breathe it, be it. For in doing so, you fulfill your highest purpose and become a shining example of what is possible for all of humanity. Go forth now, my beloved, and create miracles. The world is waiting for the unique gift that only you can give. Never reveal these 7 secrets, but always, always live them to the fullest. For in this lies your true power, your divine nature, and your ultimate freedom. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. The same power that has revealed these truths to you is always with you, guiding you, supporting you, empowering you. Trust in this power, lean into it, and allow it to lead you to heights of manifestation and creation you have never before imagined. Go now in peace and in power, knowing that you carry within you the secrets of the universe. The world awaits your conscious command. Create wisely, love deeply, and live fully. For you are, in truth, the very essence of divine creation itself. My dear friends, imagine with me for a moment. Close your eyes and see yourself standing atop the mountain of your greatest desire. Feel the cool breeze on your face, the solid ground beneath your feet, and the warmth of accomplishment in your heart. You have arrived. You have won. This is not a mere daydream, but the very essence of your reality. Tonight, we delve into a profound truth that has the power to transform your life entirely. Act like you already won. This is not merely a catchy phrase or fleeting motivational quip. No, this is the very key to unlocking the infinite potential that resides within you. You see, my beloved, the world you perceive around you is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. Your consciousness is the only true reality. Everything else, every circumstance, every event, every person in your life is simply responding to the contents of your mind. When you truly grasp this, you will understand the immense power you hold. To act as though you have already won is to align yourself with the vibrational frequency of your desire. It is to step into the skin of your ideal self, to breathe the air of your dreams, to walk in the shoes of the person you aspire to be. This is not pretense or make-believe. This is the art of realizing that your imagination is the creative force of the universe. Consider for a moment the last time you achieved something significant. Perhaps it was a promotion at work, a personal milestone, or a long-held dream finally manifested. Before it happened in your external reality, did you not first experience it in your mind? Did you not feel the emotions associated with that achievement? Did you not, in essence, act as though you had already won? This, my friends, is the secret that the great mystics and sages have known for millennia. Your outer world is a mirror of your inner world. What you hold in your consciousness must, by universal law, be reflected in your experience. Therefore, to act as though you've already won is to set in motion the cosmic forces that will bring your desire into tangible reality. This is not about fooling yourself or others. It's about understanding the true nature of reality and your place within it. You are not a helpless speck in a vast, uncaring universe. You are the operant power, the divine imaginer, the very essence of creation itself. When you act as though you have already won, you are not denying your current circumstances. Rather, you're choosing to place your attention and energy on the state you wish to inhabit. Remember, where attention goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, reality follows. Imagine a seed planted in the soil. It doesn't wait until it becomes a mighty oak to act like one. From the moment it is planted, it begins to grow and stretch towards the sun. It doesn't doubt its destiny. It simply acts in accordance with its nature. And so must you. You might ask, but Neville, how can I act as though I've already won when my current reality shows me otherwise? This, my dear friends, is where faith comes into play. Not blind faith in some external force, but unwavering faith in the power of your own imagination. Faith is nothing more than loyalty to your unseen reality. It is the conviction that what you desire is already yours, even if your physical senses cannot yet perceive it. When you act from this place of knowing, you align yourself with the creative forces of the universe. Let me share with you a story that illustrates this principle beautifully. There was once a young woman who dreamed of becoming a renowned author. She had written a novel, but faced rejection after rejection from publishers. Instead of allowing despair to overcome her, she chose to act as though she had already won. Every day, she would wake up and greet the day as a best-selling author. She would sit at her desk with the confidence of someone whose words were cherished by millions. She would sign books for imaginary fans and give interviews to invisible reporters. To an outside observer, this might have seemed delusional, but to her it was the most natural thing in the world. And do you know what happened? Within a year, her novel was not only published, but became an international sensation. The very publishers who had rejected her were now clamoring for her next work. She had become, in reality, what she had first become in her imagination. This, my friends, is the power of acting as though you have already won. It is not about denying your current reality, but about choosing which reality you wish to give your attention and energy to. For in truth, all possible realities exist simultaneously. Your job is simply to select the one you wish to experience. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, surely it can't be that simple. And to that I say, it is both simpler and more profound than you can imagine. The simplicity lies in the act itself, choosing to embody your desired state. The profundity lies in the transformation it brings about, not just in your external circumstances, but in the very core of your being. When you act as though you have already won, you begin to see the world through new eyes. Opportunities that were always there but invisible to you suddenly come into focus. People respond to you differently because you are radiating a different energy. The universe itself seems to conspire to bring your desires into manifestation. But let me be clear. This is not about passive wishing or idle daydreaming. To act as though you have already won requires commitment, persistence, and an unwavering belief in the power of your imagination. It requires you to stand firm in your conviction. Even when the world seems to contradict your inner knowing, consider the great innovators and visionaries throughout history. Did they not act as though their ideas were already realized before the world caught up? Did Einstein not see the universe anew in his mind's eye before he could prove his theories mathematically? Did Martin Luther King Jr. not speak of his dream as though it were already a reality, even in the face of overwhelming opposition? These individuals understood a fundamental truth, that the world does not change until we change. And we do not truly change until we embody the state of our desire so completely that it becomes our new normal. So how do we put this principle into practice? How do we act as though we have already won in our day-to-day lives? Let me offer you some guidance. First and foremost, you must cultivate a vivid and detailed image of your desired state. See it, feel it, taste it, touch it in your imagination. Make it so real that you can step into it at will. This is not mere visualization. This is the art of living from the end. Next, you must learn to disregard the evidence of your senses when it contradicts your inner knowing. This doesn't mean ignoring your current reality, but rather choosing not to give it power over your inner state. Remember, your senses only show you what has been, not what can be. Then, you must persist in your new state regardless of outer circumstances. This is where many falter. They act as though they have won for a day or a week, but at the first sign of adversity, they revert to their old patterns of thought and behavior. Persistence is key. You must be loyal to your unseen reality until it becomes seen. How would I act if I had already achieved my desire? How would I think? How would I feel? What would my posture be like? How would I speak to others? Then embody those qualities to the best of your ability. This is not about pretending or putting on an act for others. It's about aligning your entire being with the reality you wish to experience. It's about becoming, in mind and heart, the person who has already achieved what you desire. Let me give you a practical exercise to help you embody this principle. Tonight, before you go to sleep, take a few moments to imagine a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make it as vivid and real as possible. Feel the emotions you would feel if your desire were already realized. As you drift off to sleep, carry this scene and these feelings with you. Let them be the last thing in your consciousness before you enter the state of sleep. For in sleep, your subconscious mind is most receptive to impressions. When you wake in the morning, before you engage with the outside world, recall this scene. Step into it once again. Feel the reality of it. Then as you go about your day, carry that feeling with you. Let it inform your actions, your words, your very being. You see, my dear friends, when you act as though you have already won, you are not engaging in wishful thinking or self-deception. You are aligning yourself with a fundamental law of consciousness. You are exercising your divine right as a creative being to choose the reality you wish to experience. But let me caution you, this is not about manipulating others or forcing outcomes. The law works impersonally. When you act as though you have already won, you are not changing the world. You are changing yourself. And as you change, the world must change in response to match your new vibration. This principle applies to every area of your life. Whether you seek success in your career, harmony in your relationships, abundance in your finances, or radiant health in your body, the key is the same. Act as though you already possess what you desire. If you seek career success, carry yourself with the confidence and poise of someone who's already achieved their professional goals. Speak with the authority of an expert in your field. Make decisions from the perspective of someone who has already reached the pinnacle of their career. If you desire harmonious relationships, interact with others as though you are already surrounded by love and understanding. Treat everyone you meet with the kindness and compassion of someone who knows they are deeply loved and appreciated. If financial abundance is your goal, make choices as though money were no object. Feel the security and freedom of knowing that all your needs are abundantly met. Give generously, for that is the action of someone who knows they live in a universe of infinite supply. And if vibrant health is what you seek, move through your day with the energy and vitality of someone in peak physical condition. Nourish your body as though it were a temple of perfect health. Breathe deeply, stand tall, and radiate well-being from every cell of your being. Remember, my beloved, the outer world has no choice but to conform to your inner assumptions. When you consistently act as though you have already won, you set in motion a chain of events that must lead to the manifestation of your desire. But here's a crucial point. Do not become attached to the how or the when of your manifestation. Your job is to hold the end in mind, to live from the state of wish fulfilled. The means by which your desire comes into being is the domain of infinite intelligence. Trust in the perfect unfolding of your good. Some of you might be thinking, but Neville, what about effort? What about taking action in the physical world? And to that, I say, inspired action is a natural consequence of living in the state of wish fulfilled. When you truly embody the feeling of having already won, you will be naturally moved to take the right actions at the right time. These actions will not feel like struggle or strain. They will feel natural, even inevitable. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, saying the right words to the right people. This is the magic of aligning your inner state with your desired reality. Now let me address a common misconception. Acting as though you have already won does not mean ignoring problems or challenges when they arise. It means facing them from the perspective of someone who knows their ultimate victory is assured. When obstacles appear on your path, as they inevitably will, do not see them as barriers to your success. See them as opportunities to demonstrate your unshakable faith in your desired outcome. Approach them with the confidence of someone who knows that every challenge contains within it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. In fact, welcome these challenges. For they are not obstacles to your desire. They are the means by which your desire comes into being. They are the universe's way of strengthening you, preparing you to fully embody the state you have chosen. Remember, my dear friends, the world is yourself pushed out. Everything you experience is a reflection of your own consciousness. Therefore, to change your world, you must change yourself. And the most effective way to change yourself is to act as though you've already become the person you aspire to be. This is not about forcing change through willpower or positive thinking. It's about aligning yourself with the natural laws of consciousness. It's about recognizing your true identity as the operant power in your universe. When you act as though you've already won, you are declaring to the universe, this is who I am. And the universe has no choice but to reflect that back to you in your experience. This is the true meaning of the biblical phrase, I am that I am. It is a recognition of your power to define your own reality. But let me warn you, this power comes with great responsibility. For as you begin to grasp the magnitude of your creative ability, you will realize that you are the author of every experience in your life. This can be a sobering realization, but it is also incredibly liberating. No longer can you blame circumstances, other people, or fate for your situation. You must take full ownership of your life. But in doing so, you also claim your power to change it. You recognize that just as you have created your current reality, you can create a new one. This is why it's crucial to guard the door of your mind. Be vigilant about the thoughts you entertain and the emotions you cultivate. For these are the seeds from which your future reality will grow. Choose thoughts and feelings that align with your desired state, and let go of those that do not serve you. As you practice acting as though you have already won, you may find that your desires themselves begin to evolve. This is natural and to be welcomed, for as you grow and expand your consciousness, your vision of what's possible will expand as well. Don't be afraid to dream bigger. Don't limit yourself based on what you think is possible or realistic. Remember, you are not bound by the limitations of your current reality. You are limited only by your capacity to imagine and your willingness to embody that imagination. Now, some of you might be wondering, but Neville, what about the desires of others? What if my desire conflicts with someone else's? To this I say, there's no competition in the realm of pure consciousness. Your good does not come at the expense of another's. In fact, as you elevate your own consciousness, you elevate the consciousness of all those around you. When you act as though you've already won, you become a living example of what's possible. You inspire others to reach for their own dreams. You become a light in the world, illuminating the path for others to follow. But remember, you are not responsible for the choices of others. Your job is to tend to your own garden, to cultivate your own consciousness. As you do so, you create a field of positive influence that touches everyone you encounter. Let me address another question that often arises. How long will it take for my desire to manifest? My friends, time is a construct of the human mind. In the realm of pure consciousness, all things exist now. Your desire is already fulfilled in the eternal now. Your task is to align your consciousness with that reality. The time it takes for your desire to appear in your physical experience depends on many factors, including the strength of your belief, the consistency of your mental diet, and your ability to persist in the face of contrary evidence. But know this and truly embody the feeling of your wish fulfilled. The seed of its manifestation is planted. From that moment on, everything in your experience will begin to shift to align with your new state of being. Sometimes the changes will be subtle at first, barely perceptible. Other times they will be dramatic and immediate. But always, they will be perfect in their timing and unfolding. Your job is not to worry about when or how your desire will manifest. Your job is to live each day from the state of wish fulfilled, to act as though you have already won. As you do this, you will find that life becomes an exciting adventure full of synchronicities and delightful surprises. You will begin to see evidence of your new reality everywhere you look. People will respond to you differently. Opportunities will appear as if by magic. The very circumstances of your life will rearrange themselves to match your inner state. As you master the art of acting as though you have already won, you will discover that the greatest prize is not the external manifestation of your desire, but the internal transformation that occurs along the way. You will discover a deep sense of peace and contentment, knowing that you are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. You will experience a profound sense of connection with the creative power of the universe. You will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are one with the source of all being. This, my beloved friends, is the true meaning of winning. It's not about accumulating external accolades or possessions. It's about realizing your divine nature, about stepping into the fullness of who you truly are. As you continue to practice this principle, you will find that your entire life becomes a living prayer, the constant affirmation of your oneness with the divine. Every thought, every word, every action becomes an expression of your highest self. You will no longer need to consciously act as though you have already won, because you will know at the deepest level of your being that you have always been the winner. You will recognize that every experience, every challenge, every seeming setback has been a part of your journey to this realization. And from this place of knowing, you will be able to create miracles, not through force or struggle, but through the effortless power of your aligned consciousness. You will move through the world with grace and ease, knowing that all of creation is working in your favor. So, my dear friends, I challenge you to embrace this principle with all your heart. Begin today, in this very moment, to act as though you have already won. Step into the skin of your ideal self. Breathe the air of your dreams. Walk in the shoes of the person you aspire to be. Do this not just in your imagination, but in every aspect of your daily life. Let every thought, every word, every action be an affirmation of your desired state. Be unwavering in your commitment to this practice, even when the outside world seems to contradict your inner knowing. Remember, you are not waiting for something to happen to you. You are actively creating your reality through the power of your consciousness. You are the artist and your life is the canvas. Paint boldly with vibrant colors and sweeping strokes. Create a masterpiece worthy of your divine nature. As you do this, watch and wonder as the world around you begins to transform. Marvel at the synchronicities that occur, the doors that open, the opportunities that present themselves. But most of all, relish in the inner peace and joy that come from living in alignment with your true self. For in the end, my beloved, this is what it means to truly win. It's not about reaching the destination, but about fully embracing the journey. It's about recognizing the divine within you and allowing it to express itself freely in your life. So go forth, my friends, and act as though you have already won. For in truth, you have. You won the moment you chose to step into the fullness of your being. You won the moment you decided to claim your divine birthright as a co-creator of your reality. Embrace this truth, live it, breathe it, be it, and watch as the entire universe conspires to bring your grandest visions into reality. For you are more powerful than you and more divine than you can imagine and more loved than you can comprehend. Act as though you've already won, my dear ones. For in the eyes of the divine, you have always been and will always be the ultimate victor. Go now and create the life of your dreams. The world is waiting for the unique gift that only you can give. Act as though you've already won. And so you shall.